All right, guys, so check it out. Tim got rid of his Gen 1 Model Y. I think it was like a 2020. And, that was the vehicle that I compressed its shocks and showed you guys all that good stuff when we were comparing the tank shocks to the factory shocks and the rebound and all that fun stuff. So, that thing was pretty near and dear to our heart, but it had quite a few miles. And CarMax, shout out to CarMax, gave us a good price on it, on selling it to them. I think Tim got around $18,000 for it. I think it had probably 70-ish thousand miles, 80,000 miles or something. Anyways, they took that back. Obviously, we took all of his cool MPP parts off of the car, handed that over to them. Tesla and Carvana were only going to give him around $13,000. So as soon as they got that good price from CarMax, they took it and they replaced it with this baby, a Quicksilver Juniper. Check it out. Come over here. Check out this light bar. And Tim ChatGPT'd the name and he came up with Cyroburn. I'd have thought it was Cryoburn, but I guess it's Cyroburn, and I don't know what it was. But he says it's some SpaceX thing. But anyways, light bar, cool stuff. Quicksilver, white interior. White interior. Wheels here, and in traditional and typical ZEV fashion, we had to throw it up on the alignment rack to see what it came out to from Tesla, and surprisingly, it's one of the better ones. It's not perfect, but what is, right? So let's go see what the numbers are looking like. Check this out. So he's got a little bit of a thrust angle in the back, but it's not terrible. I mean, if you took the total toe, it would be where it should be, but you can see a little thrust angle there. Front toe, slightly off, got a little bit more toe in here than over here. So we'll go ahead and clean this up. We were considering taking the MPP camber arms. Hold on, I'll be right back. These beautiful babies from his other Model Y and putting them in this one, but he's only got a degree of camber, so it's like, Tim, we're not gonna do it. We don't need to do it. When we lower it, maybe then we'll do it, but for right now, we're just gonna hold on to these. I think what we will do is clean up the alignment, pop these wheels off. I'm going to measure the pocket depths on these 19-inch wheels to figure out what kind of spacers we can look at for this, if studded spacers or otherwise. We will also check to see if the wheel fitment is different, so the widths and the offsets. I'm sure they're still 19.9½, but I'm curious if the offset has changed. And let's look at the dampers, see if they look to be dimensionally the same or not. Upper control arms, I would imagine it's all basically the same because, Tesla, they're not going to try and reinvent the wheel here. So let's get this stuff off. We did discover that the front caliper is slightly different. So once we pop this wheel off, we'll show that to you guys as well. So let's go. All right, guys, so first things first, wheel is off. This is basically the basic 19-inch wheel. I don't know what this one's called. Is it called the Crossflow or something? Guys, go ahead and comment below if you guys know what the OEM factory name is for this wheel design. Looks pretty cool. The actual cap itself looks like this. This, I would say, you got to be really careful popping this because I can just see this thing snapping here. It's not like the other one, which was like a proper disc. This is really, really delicate. So be careful with that. Yeah. Anyways, good job, Tesla, I think. All right, so now let's weigh the wheel. And they're still running the Continental Contact RX tire like they had on the previous generation, so they did not change that up, at least on this vehicle. What do we got here? 55.6 pounds. All right. Now let's go ahead and look at the pocket depth in the back of this wheel here. It is the same exact fitment and offset as the Gen 1 Model Y, so it's a 19.9½ and a 45mm offset. But look how shallow this is. This is only 11mm, so I already put my caliper on it. And this is what I got out of it, 11 mils. All right, so we know what the pocket depth is there. The other thing that I do is just to confirm it's identical to the prior generation, but I'll actually measure the actual amount that the stud protrudes, and I'll round up at 27 millimeters, right? And so if you've got like an 11 millimeter pocket depth there, then it says you got about 16 millimeters at minimum spacer you would need to clear the studs with this setup. So you round up from that. So I would say around an 18 millimeter spacer is the minimum that you can use on this, which is pretty similar to the Gemini wheel as well, actually. So they're very similar in that regard. There are other options. You can run like a 10 millimeter H&R spacer that is not studded, but it has those special nuts, the shank nuts, in the event that you don't want to push it out too far. Those would be your real only options. You can go like a 3 millimeter slip-on spacer, 10 millimeter H&R, and then obviously space it out further with some of our Aspira studded spacers, starting at 18 millimeters and going up to 25. So 18, 20, 25 are options, depending on how aggressive you want to be or how much camber you run, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so now let's get into this knuckle. So this, I mean, backspacing wise, I assume is the same. This does look different to me though, up here. So this mold must be a little different because it's very, very edgy here. I don't remember the Gen 1 being like this. I think it was much more round and not sharp. Like this is pretty sharp. You can cut yourself on this. Upper control arm. We do see this on the newer Highlands. We actually did see this on some Austin builds as well on the Model Y. It's possible that this front upper arm also came into the Fremont factory because I believe that we saw one with this upper arm coming out of the Fremont factory as well. So it looks like the parts are kind of interchanging between factories in the States now. Dampers. This all looks completely the same. We haven't measured, you know, sway bar thicknesses or anything like that. I don't know. Maybe I can measure this right here. So I'm going to measure on the side. See what I get, and I'll pull it and I'll show you guys in just a second. 29, I think that's similar to what it was before. I'd have to look back at some of our older data, and we probably want to measure it somewhere like in the center of the bar as well, see if they're all the same OD all throughout. Everything else looks identical. This carriage looks the same. This Fuka we know, we've seen on Model 3s. Sway bar end link looks the same. This lower control arm, the lateral link, let me get a flashlight. Oh, the shape of that definitely looks different. This does look different for sure. Let me grab an old one and I'll bring that over here for you guys. Let me go grab one. So this is what it looked like in the previous model. So you can see how the rubber is completely different shape. The mold is different than that. So that does look different. Oh, another thing that only somebody like Tim would notice is the head of the bolt's different. It's not flat. It's got a little indentation there. The compliance bushing. It definitely looks different, for sure. Yeah, it's way different, actually. It is very, very different. Let me grab one of those for you guys. So this is what it looked like before. So like this. Yeah, I think the whole top of it right here, this part and up, is definitely different in there. All right, what that means, I don't know. Caliper has definitely changed shape. There's more shape up in here. We already know the pad is different. Shout out to Moto. He already shared some pictures on his personal Facebook page and showed us that the pad shape is definitely different. The caliper body is slightly different. It looks similar. I would imagine the piston diameters and stuff are the same, but the shape of this has somewhat changed. There's more things going on in here. Okay, now let's move to the rear. We have one thing to show you guys in the rear, And I think that'll conclude our preliminary analysis of this vehicle. It rides way, way better than the older Model Y. Like the Juniper and the Highland, Tesla's definitely made massive, massive improvements. It's like a proper vehicle now for the regular person. I mean, guys like us, we always want more, but my parents, relatives, anybody else would be totally happy with the factory suspension on this vehicle. They won't be searching more than likely to look for aftermarket products. So bummer for us, but hey, at least Tesla's making improvements and the chassis engineers are doing things right and really taking the feedback and the input they're getting from the community to make improvements in the right places, because suspension is really, really important. We drive these things every day, and if you're rattling your teeth out, nobody's going to want to have the car. So let's get to the rear and show you guys exactly what we found back there. All right, guys, so check this out. Come on in here. So the spring arm or the swing arm, you can see here how these are captive now to the actual arm itself. So these are not nuts anymore. You can tell because they're round. You can't put a wrench on it. So that's interesting, which means that they have specific left and right part numbers now for these arms. But yeah, that's a new find. Yeah, I don't really think anything else has really changed. There were some other differences on the Model 3, but down here I can't really tell anything else. So let's get up to the top side. The rear damper looks the same dimensionally. Even the bump stop, we pulled the bump stop down. Even the bump stop looks shape-wise is the same. If I can get this thing out. But yeah, so you can see the bump stop here. So that's just like the old one. All right. What else do we got here? Let me shove this back up there. All right. What else here? So camber arm. Yep. Just like the long range, basically the non-performance models, that's a rubber bushing in the knuckle. The performance Model 3 Highland is a bearing, and all the prior generation Model 3s and Ys had a bearing here. This bearing on the older models would start to go out and clunk. So maybe that's one of the reasons why Tesla moved to a bushing here. There are certain companies like Mountain Pass Performance, they just released replacement bearings, upgraded better bearings, because they always use amazing bearings for the knuckle. In fact, for all of the rubber bushings in here, so traction trailing arm, camber, toe, I believe there's 4 bushings in here that can be replaced with bearings. So MVP does have those on the website. Now it does take a very qualified shop to be able to install them, because you need special press tools and things, and getting in here is a little bit difficult. It's much easier to press those in on a bench, so you'd have to remove the whole assembly, the whole spindle in order to do that. So not recommended for a DIY guy. There's not much else to share here. I mean, this rotor looks the same. This caliper looks the same. Pad shape, I think, would be the same until we pull the pads out. We wouldn't know until line them up on top of an older one. This system is brake-by-wire, so that's a whole new thing. I haven't driven one enough to know how it really feels, but Tim tells me it's different. Frankly, he doesn't really like it, but yeah, I think that's it. That concludes what we have to show you on the Juniper. So thanks guys for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. Not quite sure what we're going to do to this. If anything, this is something that his folks are probably going to drive. And it's kind of good out of the box for a parent. So we may not get the chance to mod it, but hopefully what we'll do on our next video is show you guys what this thing looks like with Aspira forged wheels. Why? Because we have them, and why not? We'll just throw them on here with the stock suspension and show you guys a bunch of variations of Aspira forged wheels. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. Don't forget to hit that notifications bell so you guys are notified on our future videos. Again, thanks for watching guys, and we will see you on the next one.